And then the Lord spoke to me in the spirit and said, Gary, this girl is gay, and you need to love her. And I'm like, oh, man. She looked over and saw the name of my book, and she questioned my book, and she said, what's that book? And I said, oh, it's a Christian book. And she said, well, I hate Christians. And she said, they are so judgmental. I can't stand it. And I said, yes, so can non-Christians. But here's the thing, a Christian like myself, I could judge you today, and I can ask God to forgive me for judging Amy today, and hopefully run into you and say, Amy, I hope you forgive me. But non-Christians could care less. She said, okay, since you're a Christian, I want to know what you think about homosexuality. And I said, doesn't matter what I think, it matters what God thinks. And I gave her about 4 or 5 scriptures, and she handed it back and went, oh my goodness. I said, but here's what God told me. Remember when you were living a terrible lifestyle, and I didn't condemn you. And he reminded me of what I just read, John 3:17. God didn't send Jesus to condemn, he sent Jesus to save. And he saved my life, and he wants to save your life. Grabbed my shirt and pulled me down. She says, I want you to know something. And I said, what? And she whispered, I'm a lesbian. And I said, I know. And she said, you know? And I said, God told me you were, but he also told me something, and I haven't done it yet. I haven't told you that I love you. And I said, but God loves you more than anyone in the world. He loves you more than any woman or man. But he loves you so much. He wants to change your heart and your life like he did mine. Next thing I know, she ran down the terminal and grabbed a hold of me and she said, can I ask you for one more favor? And I said, yes. And she said, would you hug me? And Amy and I hugged and wept. I'm not ashamed of that, because Jesus would weep for that woman.